But I do early on get into like how the kit evolved and how, like, you know, when some of the subjects of this book were born, the idea of the drum set as we now know it like didn't exist. It evolved from what we now call what we call the trap set, which did have a bunch of like sound effect gewgaws on it and like wood blocks and chimes and all these other things. And that's like when you think of like ragtime or sort of early big band music that had, you know, you can hear these different sort of textures. That's that kind of set that we're talking about, with players like Chick Webb being a good example of that. And it wasn't until, this was new to me, and again, as a person who's played the drums for so long, I didn't know any of this history, but the actual idea of like the tunable drum set with like firm mounted hardware and no sound effects thing was literally an invention of Gene Krupa in 1942. And he got together, I guess it was with the Gretsch company, and he was the one who said, like, I want to be able to bash this thing to hell. I want to be able to really play, and I want to be able to play like the sing 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 drum solo where he's banging on, you know, like you know, doing these great sort of tom showcases and stuff. And so it really, we can pinpoint like the development of what we now understand to be a modern drum set to like a specific person and a specific model and a specific time, which is really fascinating to think about, because there was obviously a lot of rhythmic music made before 1942. It just wasn't made with that kind of thing. And so, and obviously once that instrument physically changes, that itself really changes the role of a drummer in a band. You can see that people move away from timekeeping on the cymbal, and instead it becomes a matter of timekeeping on the bass drum. And then, yeah, there's a lot of like, I think sort of hidden in here. I don't think it feels too technically overdone, but there is like a lot of interesting history of the drum set stuff in there. And I can say interesting because it was interesting to me. Like, I didn't know a lot about it when I learned of it, but there's certain like technological breakthroughs that are important, you know, for making drums sound the way that they sound.